think we'll have to bring it to order. Call the meeting to order at 6:33.
6:33.
Okay, so first thing is the approval of the October 9th minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of the Old Saybrook Park and Rec Commission for October 8th, 2025.
Thank you, because I thought that date was a little odd.
Different dates floating around.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor by Jim to accept the minutes. Is there a second? Anybody? I'll second it then.
Well, thanks.
You're welcome. Any discussion on the minutes?
I'd like to remove myself. I wasn't here at the meeting, so I'm looking.
Oh, I mean, we had, well, you're always here in our
Yeah.
thoughts.
I was at the high school doing secondary school.
Okay. So,
My only comment was the headers on pages 2, 3, 4 said September 10th rather than October. So just to match the actual meeting, I just update that.
And Sue, under 3, your last name is, you're not Etsy.
no, I'm not at the,
You're like,
I wish I was. I have a bigger bank
You'd be very
account.
rich.
Your car.
Yeah, with,
Yeah.
yeah, we have that problem. That's a,
I bet
that's a
that
big
makes it a spell checker.
It did.
Doesn't go through spell checker
All
that.
right.
Good.
And the same under ED. Etsy.
that's good, I can think of.
It's like throughout that paragraph, there's a couple of,
Yeah, we'll just correct it.
yeah.
Spelling errors. Except under chairman's report, I'm correct.
A couple other places.
I don't know. All right, guys.
All
right. I know, though.
This is,
And
nobody
I never did that to you.
no one,
I never did.
I know you
I
know,
know.
and no one
Because I
does this
appreciate
either.
it.
Like spell
I
check
know.
or whatever, nobody says
Yeah.
anything.
Over and
This
I
one
wasn't
does.
gonna-
Bring
This
it
one
up.
is taking
Let's bring it
shit
up.
out.
Let's bring it up.
Yeah, I know. Now you know I
You know,
I'm
Don't
not gonna,
listen.
I'm not gonna be secretary.
There's a lot of spelling there.
so it's all done in love, that's all.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Now, Sue, to make things easy, can you just change your name, please?
Make a motion.
Someone can pass this.
I wish it were that easy.
Okay, very well.
Thank you.
We have to amend that motion for the correction.
I will make an amendment to the original motion to incorporate the changes discussed here. Meeting.
I'll second that, second the motion. Any other discussions? All in favor, say accepting the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions? Nice job, Star. All in all, you got everything we were talking about. which
Yeah,
is
I
good.
know.
And we talked a lot.
Me too. Talk a lot. I was like, oh, I got that people.
I know, when I was gonna be here, I said,
Oh,
I said that to
I know,
myself.
because you guys, I can't even read my own handwriting, so it'd be perfectly
All right,
Thanks,
recognition of,
It is.
there's Jane. Jim just arrived.
Yep.
Another seat here. Okay.
We do have one person attending. I think it's one of our new commissioners,
You're good.
but they don't have their hand raised.
Okay, where are we? Here we are.
Yes.
Recognition of guests, if we have a guest on Zoom, if you'd like to say a few words, you may raise your hand and we'll recognize you. Otherwise, welcome to our meeting. Okay. Yes, congratulations, by the way, on your recent
Yeah,
election.
she'll be.
Teresa.
All right, any correspondence?
It's in the packet.
I didn't put on the copy. All right.
So I'm not getting those ones, so if I like- So, this is from Mr. Tarasco. who has sent a couple different letters that I sent to the commission a few other times, and this is the latest one. For your review.
So let the record show that we are putting this in correspondence section of our meeting. And just to make sure Paul Terrazio
I'm sorry, I said this.
Is recognized. Review of the bills. Does anyone have any questions on the bills? We've had a rather warm fall. Is most of the water shut off on our fields and everything?
All shut off.
All shut off? Okay. And the outside laboratories are all closed now, or?
We don't have water.
Okay. Anyone else with any questions on the bill?
What was the pickleball court repair? $650. And you're just reminding me,
Oh, lights.
right? Main Street Park, is that just like, because yeah, I told them not to go to landscaper, try to cash.
Yeah, so end of the year stuff.
Yeah.
Cleaning out the catch basins, not catch the water. What we call them in the middle of the parking lot there, so we all that stuff out. Well, of course, we just call that park.
Okay. We come again to our public comment section. And again, if there is a guest that would like to on Zoom, that would like to speak, just press the little hand button. Seeing none, okay. Moving on to new business. Now is the time for commission election discussions. So every year, about this time next month, commission will just whom they would like for chairman, vice chairman, and secretary. So keep that in mind, and next month, we'll elect those officers. Approval of meeting dates.
So each and every year we have to hand this into the clerk. I just kept the same second Wednesday of the month at 6:30, but you guys, this is your chance to change it if you wanted to. And obviously you can see November 4th. I put it the first Wednesday because the second Wednesday is Veterans Day. So you can change that to a different day if you wanted to. I just threw it out at that time, but it's just a suggestion. So if you like these, you can vote on these. If you want to change it, you can make motions to change it.
Any of these on a week that has about holiday in it?
Just the November 4th.
Just the November?
What's that?
I was gonna say, I don't know if you would wait and vote on that, next month when the new first week.
The new commission?
We do have time. It's not due until January, so we'll figure it out.
Why don't we do that? I think suggesting everyone else have a problem with that.
I can only do the second Wednesday, so if you want me to keep working.
Then we should vote on this.
Then you just-
I vote on the approval, I make a motion to approve the dates.
Let's watch this in a couple
minutes critique.
Yeah.
Spelling.
I know, yeah. Motions on the board, approve the minute, proposed minutes for January.
Semi-serious? All right.
Yeah.
I can only do the second Wednesday.
Meaning the second with the.
These, which is what these
These
are,
work.
and the one that's the first Wednesday.
Yeah, so approve it like this, maybe.
Yeah, and you can always.
We can always change it
the
later,
month-
but I
Or
can make a
you
motion.
can- if you need to change, then we can see about it.
Is the park open on Veterans Day?
Yes, but staff is not working
I think that's the decision you
Mm.
next year.
make, whether you want to meet on Veterans Day.
You can wait until like the month before to talk about that.
Actually,
Yeah, that's what other commissions do.
All right, so Star made a motion to accept the dates.
second.
We have a second. Any other discussion? Yes?
No, sorry.
Oh. Well, the board recognized you. I'm sorry. All right, all in favor of accepting the dates, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions?
I guess I should just say. I'll vote yes.
Of course you're gonna vote.
It's your last time.
You might as well vote.
You can abstain though if you feel. All right. Budget year, our favorite discussion.
That's a first rendition of the budget. This will be more of the 95% version, completed version of the budget that will be going into the Board of Finance. But eventually, when we do, nothing really changed from the numbers I gave you last time. This is more of the PowerPoint that will be discussed at the Board of Finance meeting when we do have it. Come across is our 301 budget, which crosses the majority of our staff and our insurances and things of that nature. As you can see, some of these numbers where they go, and the total increase in that budget is $39,000, $439. But 17 of it is staff's salaries, mandatory union raises, things of that nature, and then some changes in some of the insurances and whatnot. So as you go down through the budget, you'll see some of the changes that go along with that, what way it's laid out. So the next budget is our mini golf budget. That's our 302 budget. Again, the top line item is increases to the line item for people that get paid, and some very small increases after that.
Are we going with less employees? Is that why it's going that down?
No, going up.
Oh,
The actual is the first
yeah,
number.
right.
So. The third budget is our Vicky Duffer Pavilion. That is unchanged for some other reasons. Obviously, we don't know where that's going to go. If that goes any further, I'm not going to add money to that budget if we don't have that building, which we don't know where that's going at this point in time. So that's going to be a flat budget no matter what. And the last one is our parks budget. Some very small changes with water and some electricity. So we pretty much have a line on all of these budgets. And as you get through it, you can see some of the meat and potatoes of it, of each budget, and the percent changes and things of that nature. But I'll be handing this in probably in the next 2 weeks as I really fine tooth a lot of these line items, which I already have, but
There's no marketable change in percentage from any of these line items though. They're all, like you said,
as far as for salaries, no, I mean, those
I
are
mean, salaries.
standard increases that are in the contracts.
Improvements.
Yep. A lot of our improvements will come from capital projects,
Yeah.
so it's in the back of this whole packet, I guess. So the line items are line items. The big black page is a video. Print out, it's video, obviously.
Paying attention. That's your moment where you're like, we got it.
So total increases is $48,000 or 4.9%. We've been asked to keep our budgets around 3 to 5%. So that's where we're headed, where we should be. We do get a lot of money in our capital stuff. We have a lot of bigger projects going on anyway. So trying to keep with our budget that we have, we're pretty well funded. So I don't want to increase too many places. The first capital page is not quite complete, still waiting on a few quotes here. But these are some of the projects we're going to be looking into, trying to get some funding for. First one is some historical signs at Gardner's Landing in Fort Saybrook. A few years ago, I redid 90% of those signs, and two of the signs that did not do are actually need to be redone after 5 years. So, and one sign at Gardner's Landing is unreadable, as you can see. And those are signs that just need to be replaced. So you can see the three signs that need to be replaced. You can just barely read them as is. So those are the three signs that will be.
The degradation of signs from the direction that they're pointing, or they're pointing.
You know what? That's a good question. I don't think so. They've been up there over 25 years.
Okay.
So they're been there a long time. The newer, they've been up 5 years. It's not a spec. So these just look good when I did it. So I didn't want to do the original ones, but now they've just. It was pretty difficult getting all the wording. We'll say that. I finally got it. But the second one is repairing cracks to the tennis courts at Kavanaugh Park. They've come back with us again. That was about 5 years ago we did that project. So there's two quotes in there. One for a very large number of $570,000, which I'm sure the selectmen will balk at. But it is a complete redo of those courts into a post-tension concrete court, just as we have our pickleball court. So I just wanted to throw that out there as a choice. You know, we can keep throwing Band-Aids on that tennis court, which is well over 40 years old, or simply replace it for 25 years or 30 years. Jane.
Can the replacement include lines for pickleball?
It can, that's all debatable, yeah. Discussable rather. Yeah, I can. Lines are lines. We can do lines right now.
Yeah.
Is that binding? Is he doing
Yes.
other-
Tension concrete cost was
570.
570.
4 courts.
Four courts?
You see the quote.
Is that
that's-
for fencing too, or just the court?
No, that's, the fencing is newer. We can
Right.
use the fencing.
Okay.
I think we should say tennis and pickleball.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think that the
you're right.
public would be in support of that. If it were, you know, I think the rollable nets were a huge improvement. And very acceptable. You know, very similar to the nets that you find in the courts indoors that people are playing, you know, all the time with. It makes a very big difference compared to ones that you have to
For sure.
take down every day.
Is
So,
like any noise complaints from the wall over there? Or
No, I know people can hear, but
you have that one resident at one of Main Street Park, right? That was more about the lights. I guess.
Right, but the sound is an issue there too. They've complained a few things about
Has
it.
there been any like technology or like sound? Like
There has
walls?
been. There's been a racket that's been produced that's supposed to be low
There's no
noise
like
reducing.
wall or anything, something that we could do as opposed to the flare.
You could, it'll just look ugly. I'd rather do a natural arborvitae tree line than a wall, but yeah. Just like you got on the highway.
Yeah,
A wall on the highway to reduce noise.
yeah, but right. So I mean, but there is a cage around the tennis courts, right? There was a,
We have our windscreens there.
yeah. I'm just saying if you couldn't see the roof, it's not transparent that way.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in time though, we don't have any complaints. I'm gonna address it without what's complaining about.
and we can also change the hours, you know, make it more restricted hours.
Or if the courts get redone, you put the pickleball on the other side, which is farther away from the house. Right, so. There's other things.
The new rackets are much better. I mean, I live across from Trask Road. And I have a whole tree line in front of me and a little bit of marshland, salt marsh, but you can hear the top of the balls. It just goes all the time. I can hear their conversation, but for the most part, it's the noise of the ball and racket.
I mean,
You know,
I asked
other
because
courts
I've
where they
fielded
use the new racket.
People have approached me about it.
You should sit here on a Monday or actually any morning right now and sit in my office from 9 to whatever. The doors are closed, there are people talking, and it's loud. It's hard. It's just,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pickleball thing.
It's
Really,
a very social sport.
Yeah,
absolutely.
to get back on the court base, knowing the water level that's underneath this, I think really present for the that higher cost of the base would stop some of these cracks because you're right at sea level. Every time the tide changes or a storm comes in, it just bubbles up. It's always going to do this. So with the new higher price surface, won't do this as much.
Agreed. I love the air post tension. We wouldn't have to worry about it for a long time. You see the pickleball courts have been there 6 years now, I want to say. They're still flat can be, so,
Oh, the ones here.
yeah.
Yeah, these are
Those are
great.
post tension concrete.
Those
So,
are great.
Yeah, the post tension, like, properly designed, it doesn't matter if groundwater is gonna have under drains that leave the pressure
Yeah.
and water reinforcement in there is,
They're not going anywhere.
so we do it under park, like, below sea level. Working on one moving airport.
So that's one of the capital requests that will be moving along to the selectmen group. I have to put the other quote in here for the actual 570,000, which I think
I would recommend being very specific with this to indicate how many tennis courts and how many pickleball courts are at this, because I think that's an important number for people to see right there and then. I mean, I know a lot of we're finance people would be familiar, but I actually,
finance members too. So.
yeah, I am like, is it four tennis courts and four pickleball courts? Is that how many? Because that's more pickleball courts than we've got here on Main Street. You know, it's a significant number. It's a significant asset.
And the cracking's on both sides. So I mean, I can't,
Right.
can't really take pictures of every crack there. So
Yeah.
it's on both sides of it. It's needed.
But to be able to have four pickleball courts and four tennis courts available to the public is a huge asset for the town.
Absolutely.
And that price tag seems pretty good. So I think those numbers in there would go a long way in advocating.
Absolutely. We'll make those changes in there.
And take out the penny. Just, sorry. Pennies were just
Like the
stopped right
IRS.
away.
Pennies that up.
Yeah, but we don't have pennies.
The other one are some straight some
Today?
shade benches at the pickleball courts. We have benches there now with no shade. It's needed for sure. Shade is needed at the bench at the courts there.
So you would add them to the ones you already have?
Yeah, I would move the other benches down because the other benches are actually memorial benches.
Okay.
A couple of them are.
Yep.
So I'd like to keep those benches. We need more benching anyway, but we'd be able to keep these as well.
Where would you move the benches?
Probably right to the sides of the
Oh,
other ones. Yeah, keep
Staying
them.
there.
Staying there.
Oh.
Okay.
We need more benching there, so.
Yeah.
But we need some shade there. These match the ones at the bocce courts. Green was the only one I can get a picture of. It could be black, but the other ones, so don't mind the color on that one. So 3 of those. Exchange Club, when we redid our signs, this one failed to get redone, and it's just been failed to get redone for the last 4 or 5 years. So I'm just redoing that particular sign. Yeah. If you don't know where it is, it's in the front of the park. You're going past towards the transfer station.
When we're doing the budget on the exchange court bond, would it include the rental of bodies there?
That's a different line item.
That would be,
We already have a large line item for that.
okay. So I'd like to see that, especially in the summer. They're there because they use it an awful lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of these things, yeah, for sure.
And probably doing the picnic tables and things there. We have 2 benches that almost you can't tell they're a bench anymore.
The ones in the back where,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep. So I mean, as we're doing this is just a simple fix, but it makes it look like we're really paying attention to the parks.
The last one is some step ups. Well, not the last one, but the other ones are some step ups rather. I should have brought this up a little while ago. And it's a great idea because kids do have a difficult time in the bathrooms at the beaches and at Kavanaugh Park. So these are commercial grade step-ups. They're actually fold down. So you can see where the girl is standing on it. And when she gets off, it automatically folds itself back up, so it's out of the way.
Would these include the ones around that slide into the toilet?
No, these are just for sinks.
Just for things?
Toilets are,
How are we going to handle, you know?
those are cheaper. We don't need to put them in capital projects.
Okay. Thank you.
These are like permanently affixed.
Yeah, they're screwed to the ground, into the concrete, and they're out of the way. I think that would be a really good idea. There are a lot of young people that go to trash that can't reach this thing. It's just a normal sink, you know. It's not their fault.
They're just kids.
So I'd like to try them out. So that's one thing. Then some new bike racks. The one at Town Beach is really old. Really old.
Yeah.
We don't have one at Harvey's Beach, and the one here at the rec center is breaking down on us as well. So I just wanted to get some new bike racks and put it in there. The last one I haven't gotten a quote on yet, but at Fort Saybrook Monument Park, in front of the bathrooms there, it's very, very dark. Very dark. And once we have our new walkway from our DEP grant that we received, the walkway will go around, and that will have all lighting in it. We won't have any lighting at that park, so I want to get this going and match it, but it would be bollard lighting we have next door. So I just haven't gotten a quote on it yet. So.
On the capital request.
Yeah.
There's a word means lighting for Fort Saybrook Monument Park.
On
On the front page.
front page,
Yeah.
I misspelled something.
You just left out a word. It says
Okay.
Fort Monument.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. And then we're asked to do 3 to 5 year capital. Well, this is really 2 to 5 year. But same stuff I did last year that did not get approved. And I added the tennis courts as well here in case the capital projects walks out the idea of a whole rebuild there. So it's something that we want to put on our list regardless. But these were numbers from last year. And that's where those come from. So those are not anything new. Just same stuff I put in last year. None of them got approved. So put it in that.
The gym floor.
And that will be the budget I'll be moving forward with. Obviously a few tweaks here, and I gotta go through all the spellings and things like that, so. And again, that would be, we start our capital meetings December 9th, I believe. It's one of our first meetings, then we'll have budget to the 15th. And then I believe our January 26th, I believe, is our actual presentation to the Board of Finance. It's a Saturday, yes.
Yeah, you want to be on Saturday.
January 24th.
Friday morning too.
Yes.
We're usually first or second on the list, so.
It's library, ourselves, and a couple of, I think the fire.
Sometimes you can.
Sometimes, yeah. So.
But there's food.
That's right, Jerry.
Yeah.
I Zoom. I Zoom.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, moving along to any other business regarding programs, facilities, and personnel?
So I looked a little bit at the dog park idea that we talked about. And I think probably the best location is what Jane suggested over there at Main Street Park. The park off of what we would need to do to develop that piece of property off of Indian Hill Road. You know, besides like clear cutting, brush hogging, maintenance and mowing, it adds to the budget. Developing a parking lot. It's kind of sloped and where I think it's advantageous for a dog park for mobility restricted people. It would be a tough property to really develop for dog park. But this one over here, I did reach out to St. John. I didn't get an answer back. I didn't poke that much, but just to investigate the idea of that, because there is a gate on that side of St. John's parking lot that the police department has access. It's a locked, double-wide gate. I don't see why they couldn't keep one side of it open to restrict cars from being able to go in there. So pedestrians can go in there. So theoretically, you have the ability to, 5 or 6 parking spaces over there and have a nice even walkway for everybody.
I think the only restriction with that would be during school hours, just like the middle school does not allow anyone on the property during school hours, so that'd be one restriction.
Yeah.
But what I would say during school hours, the Main Street parking lot is a little more available.
Absolutely.
There's no shows
For
going
sure.
on.
Weekend.
Yeah,
I
more
mean,
of a weekend thing, yeah.
I've really noticed how, every time I've been playing football, so many dogs.
Going back and forth.
It's really significant.
I'm gonna cut through.
Already, yeah, just walking, And I know when I parked, I can't remember what was going on, but I parked at St. John's, right by that gate, and it wasn't locked. So I just
Oh, it
walked right, no, it was, you had to know how to open it. It was a little bit of a brain teaser.
Looks like
It looks, yeah. So if you know how to,
Yeah. Yeah, so it'd be more of a weekend thing.
But also, this police department, that's public parking.
It's not easy to get around, because you don't want to go
All the way around, but that is an option for sure.
Yeah. You know, looking at probably 15 grand in fencing, wire fencing for sure, but outside of that, some benches and shade area. The infrastructure's there for it, and
Yeah.
I think it would be a great asset to Main Street, because so many people are walking up and down Main Street with their dogs. You see so many that it creates more of that community. It'll bring some life to it, maybe, once Bocce gets going.
Like I said, I don't think the vision of having a dog park there originally was there because of for me, walking your dog past the pickleball courts while the people there can be dangerous. You just can't be, people aren't aware of what their dogs need to know. But I think it would work. We certainly cleared out behind the pickleball courts too. If you went that way, it's a wide area now that you could use that as a semi walkway to get back there. So I think it could work for sure.
Yes.
What's feedback? I love this picture. However, my feedback from those I've surveyed about the dog park is that the little ramps, as cute and fun looking as they are, they're very different than children. They don't like to play on things. And it would be better not to have the apparatuses.
Yeah, this was a completely generic miniature.
Right, yeah. That's, I know, I just wanted to give that feedback, because that is feedback that I heard anecdotally, that they'd rather just be able to throw a ball and have the dog run without restriction. So, but benches, I think, benches are great, and if you have to have areas with wood chips, I don't know in terms of like where you put chips and, but there'll be, I'm sure, a collection of balls and sticks and things that people will, toss out there.
Just really need your two sides, one for the big dog, one for the small dogs. Your double gate to get in. Some benches inside, maybe some water.
Water is nice out.
Which we have water there, and
Yeah,
then some shade.
There's a water thing right there.
So I think it would not be too hard to do.
So what's the next step?
It's really going to the selectmen. You guys go to the selectmen.
Seen Carl bringing his dog back there already. And then,
We need to come up with a budget, figure out what the costs are for.
It's really just getting a fencing cost at one time. That's easy enough done. So just getting research on better defense, which site you want to go with,
You have to have
Really,
that, like, little entrance,
figuring out
they
where
do,
they-
so you can't escape.
Yeah, you
they
do a
have
double
rules,
entrance, figure out where the
double
entrance would be, whether
Yeah,
it's on the
people that
sidewalk
can go.
side, on the police station side, whatever, seeing how easy spot to get the entrance, so.
Do you have to have a double gate?
It really helps because dogs will escape.
Yeah.
So what you do, it is, it's like if you
Okay.
go into like a
Yeah.
butterfly museum,
Yeah,
I don't know, so
yeah,
like,
yeah.
they have like a protection.
Yeah, a little lot, yeah.
So it's just like,
So you picture it like
you
this, There's a,
Little ones can be.
you have one side for the big dogs, one side for the small dogs. Here, this would be your area where you can take your leash off on it, and you open the gate and let it go.
Right.
So, and then you come back through here, put your leash back on, then you can open the other gate.
Just prevent that little dog.
Yeah.
Escaping.
It's just important to have the big dogs play with the big dogs and the small dogs play with the small dogs.
And what the delineation is on it.
Right,
I don't know.
that's
That's for the dog experts.
correct. Yeah. That's just doing some research in some of the parks and stuff that come up with, and this is an example out there.
The only other thing that I just wanted to mention, I think we had Clark Community Park. I guess we have some of these. We haven't got a chance to discuss all the particulars of the playground.
Yeah, I talked to Wade about that actually yesterday at a meeting regarding Ferry Road and the particulars of that. I just need to get it done so we can get it funded. And he's coming up with some of that stuff, so hopefully next month or so. We can sit down and meet. That's just a generic number. Top of my head, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, at least gonna be that.
Yeah.
This playground's awesome.
Playground's great.
Yeah. That one. How much is that one?
Plus 2 more. Yeah.
200,000. I mean, that's town park size. We could probably put 2 or 3 of those there.
Well, that's what I like how McCook's Park, there's a couple different playscapes, so kids can kind of, you know, too many around this one, you can go to this one.
Right.
It's cool. Well,
And maybe one's a little more for little.
yeah.
young
age group.
So the size of that allows that. You can have one for the little kids, one for the medium-sized kids, if you will, and for, you know, 5th graders. To make
You have a pirate ship?
whatever you want. It's
This one, right?
whatever you want to do.
There's a great example at Stowe, Vermont, they did one. And I don't, but it hits two age groups kind of, and then they kind of meet because there's one of them is so big.
Yeah.
And it kind of digresses. It's very,
Gronkowski just put one in Boston.
very,
Yeah, that was awesome.
yeah, I mean.
It's there's a lot of
Any
different ways.
Baker?
He doesn't have ground money.
He's not Gronk.
Gronk just signed the one day. I don't even understand.
Oh, I
how
watched
that's
Wolf.
even,
He's
like,
one of the retired.
he-
He comes to killing it.
It's just like so silly.
Yeah.
Any other, business regarding programs, facilities, personnel?
I don't know if I bring it up here, but one of the discussions I've had with a lot of people that have been playing the disc golf, in particular, some of the older population that's playing there, there's a masters group that plays there every day. There's actually a large group of members that are coming off of addiction that go out there every morning from AA, and they would love a slightly shorter course. So I mentioned this to you, Ray, to enhance the course there, which wouldn't do, it would actually be much work to use the existing fairways, but develop another tee pad that's in a shorter capacity. Where we have, sometimes we have one tee pad, 2 baskets, and those where we would add a tee pad. Some capacities we have 1 basket, 2 tee pads, we would add a basket. So it would give you essentially 4 layouts instead of the 2 that are out there. And the 2 that we would offer would be both amenable for younger and people that don't have the same distance capability of advanced players. So it really creates a layout that's, you know, you could take middle schoolers to play, you take high schoolers that are developing their skills out there to play, versus having a course that might be too intimidating, like going to a golf course you've never played before and you're going to get 64 over par. This would be much more amenable from a par perspective for that age group. And I think I came up with roughly, I think it was probably $6,000 to put the tee pads in over the basket for 2 more layouts essentially. So pretty cheap to get 2 more layouts.
Make it more accessible.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
honestly, as a woman, you know, I've tried to go out there and play, it's a little bit intimidating.
Yeah.
So
One
I
of,
would love that.
one of masters.
Women's team.
Yeah, well, and I don't like to call them women's teams.
No, right,
There's
yeah.
women I play with that throw further than I do.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but just creating the opportunity. My friend, he's in his 60s, and his wife comes out and she loves to hike with him and throw discs, and it's like that kind of, in that capacity, it's great. But there's been a lot of kids too. I know there's been a couple of times during post-COVID, they developed a disc golf team or club in the school. I think his name was a substitute teacher that was the advisor for it. And I think there's talk of starting another one. That's why I started building these locally, is I want this as a club sport in the schools, and this would be a great way to integrate different age populations, to create more excitement to go out there, because birdies are exciting.
Is there any of the
Yeah.
courses that you worked on that you've done this also?
So there's a couple I'm actually doing. So Salem, I got additional money from them where I'm developing a short one, because there's new public recognition there that wants to create a program within their school for that. So I'm doing a short layout there for them, kind of the same capacity. It's actually a shorter hike too, in Killiverth actually. So I got 3 courses, both all locally, where we're doing pretty much the same thing. So in hopes that these programs will excite kids to
We
go out
can
there.
get a program going in the school. The Board of Ed pop in some way to help offset the cost. Do you get a sub-team going?
I mean, I
I
think
don't
the
know.
$6,000 can get put into the
Yeah.
whole Clark Community Park, which is already allocated.
Strategic fund is already there for strategic planning, and that part of the park was part of the strategic plan.
Right.
So it really just literally have to ask the Board of Finance to allocate the money for, and that's a very simple thing.
Jane, you had something?
Yeah, is there any way we can communicate the popularity of this? I don't know that many people in town realize how much that course is being used. I think it's, for those that know, but, I know because I drive by the parking lot, but, and it's packed on the weekends.
Well,
And
Harper
then there's not
Girl,
a single kid on the
she's
soccer
Well,
field, so
she's
you
gonna
know.
be a story because this fall sports are coming to an end,
Mhm.
and there's this gap between the winter sports. So if we get the sports girl, the next 3 weeks, if we can get her information.
Yeah, because it is the
Should get
number
to a store
one
now.
public course in the state.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Because girls soccer is only in
We
City
have
right now happening.
500 rounds.
yeah.
a
Oh,
month,
can we get a score?
There's-
Seriously?
Yeah.
I think
What
that's
is happening?
check
So, yeah.
I could tell you right now.
The girls are playing in the semifinals
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think it's a hidden gem that, a hidden, asset to the town, and it's hard to make that tangible, for people who don't realize that it's, I think a lot of people don't really know that it's there, which is fine. I mean, we have,
It's nice that they don't notice that it's there. Honestly,
Yeah,
it's a nice asset that's out there.
Yeah.
People don't necessarily see.
Can we nominate Rob for sport person of the week?
didn't we do that already? Oh, no, not sports person, it was a different
I don't
one.
remember.
Person of the week.
Personally, or something, but I would love it to be more centered around the master schools that play out there at work. I mean, it's hard to say these guys that are in AA, they don't necessarily
right.
want to go out.
But it's like human interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's helped quite a few people.
What about just a press release that says it's the #1 course in the state? Just put out a press release.
Or, I mean, that word is great, but press release, where is that going to
I wish the Connecticut magazine did more on disc golf, because again, we won #1 mini golf course in the state.
Oh, really?
And, that's published in our signs. and our
Where's
office.
Tograts from you? He's told me he's going to do a story on disc golf here for a last couple of years. Huh?
The same in print media. It's just not.
Yeah.
I'll
You gotta go
get a hold of
online.
Eric, see if he wants to do something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be a slow news day coming up at some point.
He could
so-
send Jack out with his camera. Jack can come do some filming, put a little spot together for him.
Yeah, just send Jack out and then send the reel to Eric.
Yeah, well, Eric would do that, just
Speed
look
it up.
at the camera.
Okay.
Because Jack wants to do something.
let's get some publicity on it. But yeah, I don't think the 6,000 would be a huge deal. I think if you guys are all for it, I'm all for it, so.
Yeah, I mean, $6,000 is
For
a
recreation.
lot of
Yeah,
charge.
we spent 32, I want to say it was, to build it, so that's 6,1, so it's not.
And the money's there.
Correct.
And this
They
just
allocated
adds more.
it at the budget, so that'd be good.
Adds more agents.
Yeah, we get the
something that
So-
we have.
Yeah.
For the record, Rob, where's the next closest disc golf course to here?
So there's Guilford, Bittner Park, and the next one's probably North.
Do they have one over in the Stonington area?
There's two, actually, there's a private one there in Mystic, Stonington area, Dragonfly. Bob Lenti, the car dealership owner, owns that one, and then there's a public one called Millwood Creek, which is actually the closest course that would have the same recreational opportunities. What I'm talking about from access and accessibility for different levels. Millwood is a very entry level, but it doesn't get a lot of play because it parks like 8 cars in the parking lot there, so they can't really do much with that. They've tried to. You can't get much. You can't publicize it that much because you just can't support it. There's already a basketball court. If you've got 3 kids on a basketball court, there's like 2 people that can go out and disc golf. So it's a hard property, but those are the closest ones.
Okay. Moving on to old business, all parks review.
Nothing really new to report in the parks per se this fall. All the waters are shut off, all the bathrooms are shut down, and soccer ended up this past weekend, and move on to winter. So
Let's hear it.
that's here. Yeah.
Okay.
That's here.
Moving to Harvey's Beach discussion. I had Ray put this on because I did want to, for us to discuss Terracia's email, and also kind of review a couple of things that are at this Harvey's. And I thank Mr. I'm going to say his name wrong, and I'm sorry, I apologize, but it's Terracia? Terracia, all right. Because he's been very communicative with us, even though he feels that we may not have been as responsive as we should have. There are some things we can't do, and part of it is, one suggestion we made is to move the concession stand to another side of the parking lot. Unfortunately, I don't think that's a good thing, because we would have to move the water over there, the electrical over there, plus on the other side of the parking lot is what we
It always floods.
laughingly call duck pond.
It always floods there.
And I do believe having a preliminary discussion with DEP, there are some restrictions on what we can do with that. We've talked about possibly moving the sand dunes, again, DEP has some regulations on not doing that. So that suggestion, I don't think is feasible. Now, Ray and I have had some discussions of what we could do with some of some complaints here, and one is we sent along some pictures, and I'm not sure if you were remember those in the emails we gave. One of them is that they had like 2 picnic tables in the back for their employees. I think we can remove one of those picnic tables so that the public doesn't go there as much. I think we could put up some signage that says not for public use, so it's only meant for the employees on the concession stand. What happens there after hours, after our staff leaves? I think if there's any noise issues, I mean, we need to remind people that to feel free to call the police department if there's a problem there. If you find that it's rowdy, too many people after hours, again, I think it's something that we need our residents to feel free to call the police department so they can look into it. I don't want to lock the gate as soon as the staff leaves. I think we have such a beautiful ocean,
Sunset.
and sunsets are remarkable,
Yeah.
almost
So
worldly known.
Yeah, walk the sandbars at night.
So I mean, I don't want our residents to feel like they're hindered from taking part of that beautiful park there. So, I don't think that's feasible. The noise level, I believe Ray has already already spoken about that. We can put that into our contract for next go round, to make sure they understand that, we can't have amplifiers out there and, noise that goes beyond. I'm smiling because I remember some rules when I used to go camping. If you have a radio, it cannot be heard at the next campsite. And I sort of feel like that's what it is. If your radio is here, it's not supposed to be heard all the way down the parking lot or in somebody else's backyard. Another suggestion that Ray made was perhaps put up a wall. It has a fence there now. It's a see-through fence. But if we put up a wall that's higher, maybe 6 feet, it might buffer the side coming from the beach.
Is the wall gonna create more of a wind tunnel that could create erosion?
Those things to look at, but, I mean, these letters, they're certainly valid concerns in my eyes. That's fine, but we're also assuming that the same vendor will be there next year. I don't know that. It could be a completely different vendor. It could be a completely different style of vending machine that's there, so.
AI.
It could be whatever, yes. It could be completely different, and these might be all moot points anyway, but, I think there's certainly some things we can do in the meantime, if that vendor does come back, to eliminate some of those issues.
And maybe suggest to the people who wrote the letter, if they come to like the vendor discussions, when they discuss those, like they could bring up all their points in person if they wanted to.
Absolutely.
Something we could look at is in the contract, I think, spell it out that, they need to meet whatever the requirements are in terms of, no music after whatever, and it needs to be quiet. I was there and I did hear music, and it was very, appropriate level of noise. I can't imagine that anybody would be complaining about it. Now, this is after the complaints and the, speaking to them. But I do think it might be good to have in the contract that we have, if there's ongoing complaints about issues, then I think a ramification could be to close it for a day. Almost like when you like suspending a student from school or whatever. Hey, you're gonna, if we have so many complaints, we reserve the right to kind of close the business for a day or two, and
That repercussion saw that about the customers that come in though too.
No, I know, I understand it hurts the customers, but I just feel like,
There needs to be something better.
yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
the
and
music
I would
makes
hope
sense.
it wouldn't come to that. I would hope it wouldn't come to that, but at least we could
So-
have a leg to stand on to say, look,
I don't remember all the issues. I thought one was like smell and
Smell of the cooking.
the cooking, which the whole discussion is that we can't remove it. Noise level depends on what the noise level is. It is a beach. There's always
I think the noise level was more specific to the music, and where
Yeah.
it's a Bluetooth speaker that they were using, employees were using to have music while they were serving food to their customers.
Okay.
You just eliminate it, it's not an issue, and it's no more music. It was also up on, excuse me, up on the railing,
Yeah.
project out a little bit, which then created where it was, the railing went right to the residents.
Right.
So,
The wind goes one
yeah,
way.
exactly.
sound,
So,
I mean,
that's an easy fix. Just either eliminate the music or eliminate where it is broadcasting from, and then you've eliminated it. So I don't see that being a big deal. The other ones, picnic tables, you need to have some sort of place for it to get out of the cooking.
That
Our
is the
staff
only
at
shade
Town
over
Beach
there.
needs to get out of the shack when they're cooking. Those whoever people are cooking, they need to get out of that. And it's just there. Instead of a table, maybe it's just a chair. It can be modified, right? So There was some stuff that was kept there, as far as paddleboards, kayaks, things that were not, should have been there. They shouldn't have been. No one else gets to keep stuff there. Why did the vendor get to keep stuff there? Eliminate it, and that's, people can't go back there. So there are some things that certainly can be changed. I just don't think one of the things is changing the location. Even thinking about other locations, if you moved it anywhere else, you're losing parking spots, number one.
Yep.
You'd have to put bollards around it to protect it. You know, we have the fencing that's there now that protects it, and there's no parking there, so.
You can't move it to the back because then you're closer to the Delaney's
Yeah,
house.
and then no one's gonna walk across the parking lot to go get food all the way to the back, so.
He's asking for us to specifically twice about relocation, so I think we should respond specifically about the relocation. And y'all are sort of in the minutes, but he's asking about that,
So
and he's repeatedly asked about it, so I think.
can we get a formal
We
statement?
should say
Or,
why we can't
yeah,
relocate it, even though it's in the minutes, maybe we should.
I think we should formally respond.
I
for
do
sure.
too, because he's asking twice
Yep.
in the third letter, like, I think it's,
And although we might not have factual information, we know that there's concerns with moving it, and there's,
this is why we can't.
but we don't know 100%, we just need to look into it. But it's not, that is
And we've
very
done-
flooded over there. Anytime it rains or that tide comes up, no one's gonna go over there to get anything. The truck, probably gonna be in 5 inches of water over there.
And it's in our strategic plan to pave, and we're already, we have sort of a long-term goal with that area moving in.
You might know
We've
better,
been there
but
for years, this is our first season.
paving it versus
Hearing it,
bringing
yeah.
infill. I think adding is something we probably can't do.
We've already had, we've had it earlier, 2 years ago.
It sinks because of the water rising and the movement. So whatever you put there is continually going to
Yep.
sink. You can't stop that really unless we do a multi-million-dollar, place. And then that's going to take 5 years to get through the EEP process. But yes, I don't mind responding. I just wanted a chance to discuss it with you and have your opinions as well.
Did that letter come from you?
Yeah, I would, as a chairman.
Because he gave you 4 specific questions.
Yeah, I mean,
It has been brought up, we have. talked
it
about
was brought up, I'm sorry if you
Many
didn't
times,
see it
yeah.
or hear it, whether the commission member or staff representatives have inspected the site as requested. I'm a commission member, I've been there. I have not seen the problems that this gentleman says occurs overly, but that's a time issue too. I could be there on the best day of the year and everybody's behaving and no one's misbehaving. Or it could be that perhaps the prevailing wind did not send all of the noise over the fence to his property. And that happens. I mean, we had that discussion previously when we were talking about smoking and coming up with the smoking policy, because prevailing winds, some people would be in the smoke and other people wouldn't. So we no longer have smoking at the park. What steps tend to relocate the food truck? Well, I can explain some of the negative problems that would occur. And a timeline when a decision or recommendation for this matter will be made. What are you thinking here? I mean, some of these things we're going to bring up when we do the
I
contract
think
for
when
the
we have the
vendor.
new proposal, we
Okay.
we have,
They can take an active
we
part.
have to wait.
Get invited to
Yeah, and
the,
then
bring
we
in the,
can,
you know.
like Jane suggested, make some verbiage in the contract that's specific.
So, I mean,
Because
we can
all
let
the
him
years
know.
that the vendor was there, when Kim was there
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
shore she shed, we never got complaints about it. This started when the new vendor took it over, correct?
Not yet, and no complaints from the neighbors.
Right.
They had complaints, they were-
But not like this. So is it just that the vendor was doing things differently than it had been before, which caused the smells to be
I think
different,
the
or
only
the
thing
noise?
different was
It's the
really,
same,
truthfully,
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it's the same truck, isn't
same
it?
menu.
Yeah,
They just
yeah.
moved the menu.
so what
No,
changed
same menu.
between A and B to make them be in this way?
Was it ever addressed that she was open past her contract?
Mhm.
Because could that be
So the contract
aggregating
actually
it with
was
the
to
neighbors?
September 30th, and I think she operated one other week after that. It was myself. We'll skip up on that. But the truck's been removed in a timely fashion. The contractor was supposed to be out of there October 30th. He got out of there, the 31st was a Friday. She got it out of there the 7th or 6th, something like that. So I mean, everything's been done correctly. That part of it. So.
So, all right, well, I'll send a letter, I'll give you all a copy. Jerry, I'll give you a copy.
I think that's really what he wants, is a
Yeah.
response.
Well,
You don't have to be
And
specific.
wanted to make
Yeah.
sure that we were actually discussing this unfair, but
Yeah.
I feel bad if we thought that we ignored it because we didn't.
We talked about it a couple times.
And,
Yeah, but he didn't.
but. Anyway, all right, so that part is over, unless someone else has another suggestion. Hearing none, strategic plan discussion.
Like I mentioned earlier, Willie Thomas is one of the representatives of Jacobson. We were talking on Ferry Road property, and we discussed a little bit about Town Park and where he was at with that, and he's moving along with that as well. So hopefully next month we'll have a little bit more on that. So there's really not too much to discuss on that particular thing. But part of his discussion, he thought we'd be able to go out to bid in the spring, which I thought was awesome. But I said, whoa, we need funding. But, so, he's moving along on it.
So the next one is kayak raft discussion. I let, I keep this in here because, there wasn't, perhaps an opportunity for the town to have, obtain a new piece of property. I don't know what the movement is on that as yet, haven't heard an update from, Carl. I hope the town is really serious, continuing negotiations for this possible property. Because I think it's an excellent place to put a kayak underwater. So, that's why I left it here. But just no new information I can give you guys. Preserve update,
No movement on the preserve.
other than there's some trail days that,
There's just a few trail stewardship opportunities that we're presenting that hopefully will move forward with more stewardship opportunities, not just only in the preserve, but all our properties. So that's a kind of a grassroots effort to get more people involved in our trails. But there's nothing really to do with the preserve. It's
I wanted to sign up for one of those.
good. I got you. I got you for a bunch of them.
Did you?
No, there's a
No, I
trail walk.
definitely did.
There's a trail walk this Saturday coming up. It's at, I think it's 1 to 3.
Where are you going now?
It'll be on the outside loop of Town Park, essentially going from up to Town Park, all the way up to the preserve entrance, into the preserve that way. I believe it's 1 o'clock. I'll email it to you.
Leaving from Clark.
Leaving from Park, yeah.
I think that's on the preserve Facebook page.
Kathy Connolly's been advertising it that way. We have it on our website. There's definitely people signed up, which is awesome.
Any other business regarding programs, facilities, personnel? Jim?
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be inappropriate for you to ask Ray about the bicycle pump at the mini golf.
I was hoping you'd say something.
So,
It's up.
Oh, yeah.
it's been up
Okay.
all year.
all summer.
In that case,
Yeah.
consider me ignorant.
I don't know how many people use it, but it's been there.
Okay.
Can we get one here?
Yeah.
Remember Spencer?
I know, Spencer.
Spencer, his tires
kids-
flat. I'm like,
kids
oh,
got
there's
flat
one
tires.
at Park and Rec. He's like, no, there's not. I just walked my bike all the way to Everland.
Well, we talked about that
We
in
talked-
the discussion, but we said, let's do the mini golf as
We
a
can get one here,
test
because
case.
that actually
Yeah,
happened twice. And both of them were on
Twice.
Friday afternoon, at like 4:15, the kid comes over, there's no air in his tire, and
There you go.
It's just ridiculous. But we help fix it somehow.
It is a cool thing. I think it's, and here there's a lot more traffic than
Yes.
mini
We're getting new bike racks.
Yeah,
These are the
we're
bike
doing
racks.
that. We might as well put it at the end.
Well, I could add it, right
It's pretty
With
neat.
more
Why don't I have it?
It's a good
Go
thing.
You need more
Yeah,
pumps.
more.
Bike
Yeah.
racks.
pumps.
All right, we
It is
can, we can add pumps in there.
Yeah, we have one.
Well,
I thought it was here, so it sends them all the way here.
I remember back in the early discussion, we were like, okay, when you're a kid, you used to go to the gas station, they give you free air. Now we don't really have any, we go to, we don't have any place to pump up spikes. It kind of makes
We
it
still
come
have
up
gas
there then.
stations.
So that's good, I'm glad to hear that, I'm sorry,
Yeah, Jimmy, I thought you knew that.
A good.
we didn't have the scissors, I'm like, no way.
No, you did not.
I
I'm gonna check it out, it's gonna be cool.
All
All right.
right. The bike racks.
We can do that.
It's outside. It's an amazing thing. Let's take it as a win.
All right, moving along to chairman's report. Gee, I haven't been at any meetings lately, other than, this Board of Selectmen's meeting that went into, executive session.
It was, he had said that he was going to bring it up at the board subcommittee, and I did not hear it. I was in attendance. I was slightly late joining in, so I don't know, but I didn't.
I was in and out because my internet was in and out. We had somebody taking down a tree and
Yeah,
every
I
time
didn't
it
hear
rubbed
anything
against
about
the
it.
internet
So
line,
I don't
I
know.
was out.
But I hope they address it.
I don't
Board of
know.
Selectmen.
I haven't heard a report on that, so I'll try to get back to you all, give you an email.
Property still listed and available and accepting offers as of today. I think that's a good thing.
Everyone I spoke to thought it was an excellent idea. So I'm hopeful, I'm very hopeful on that. Director's report?
In your packet is just the final numbers from this past summer's outside areas. Pretty successful summer. All that money from mid-off that was brought in went directly to our strategic plan fund, which is very nice. That is about a $4,000 jump from last year, I believe, if I remember correctly. So.
It's
That's not bad.
crazy,
Really
it's crazy that August was better than July,
First time I've ever seen that.
right? I mean,
It's the
Yeah.
first time it's
significantly
been
better.
that high ever.
That's, the weather was great, but
Weather was great. We didn't lose. Last year we lost 3 Saturdays for weather events. Thunderstorm last year.
But even this, I think into July was raining.
It was a little bit.
Yeah.
June was awful as far as rain.
Yeah, terrible.
but you almost hit 100K.
But if you lose a Saturday night from a thunderstorm,
Yeah,
it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we lost 3 of them last year, and this year we didn't lose any day in August.
I mean, that's a big
That's a big
It's
number.
a big
It's the highest I've
number.
ever seen.
I mean, if this doesn't say. let's
was
get
it all the social media stuff?
And there we go.
It is,
Yeah.
it is phenomenal.
It's
$500,000.
the numbers, people don't know.
We won 1-0. Girls soccer.
Oh!
Really? Really? Oh my God, that is awesome. Oh my God. I almost
Oh my
home tonight because I was going to go to the game, because the goalie is like my little girl. I love her. I'm there.
Nancy.
Oh, I'm going to be,
Oh, no.
did they?
That's awesome.
One other thing to notice on this Harvey's Beach number, you see the season passes that were sold are at 94. Last year we sold 47. So I'm not sure if that is in direct correlation of moving the price up that you guys did. So it was better to get a season pass. Something to consider when we go over the numbers for next year on our
47 to 94.
47 and 94. It's also a popular place to go, but something to consider. It's $150 for a season pass. It was $30 for the weekend. 5 times you go, you pay for your season pass.
Like ski passes.
So something to consider in the future. You don't have to, but
So you should sell mini golf passes,
you do.
like punch tickets.
You can see your punch tickets.
You know, like a 10-pack. I don't know.
President discount.
For a 10-pack, $50.
Yeah.
Other than that, normal numbers, and to the general fund's a lot less this year because all the money from the golf went directly to the strategic plan fund. That's okay.
That's fine.
It is.
So the number one mini golf course in the state, you said.
Yeah, that's the third time we've won that.
Yeah. What's number two?
I couldn't tell you.
Nope.
I know Matterhorn is a mini golf course that when they were building it, they used their same vendor that we did. She came and interviewed us and all that good stuff. They're definitely up there, and there's a couple other ones that have batting cages attached to them that are there too. So, but yeah,
It's got the 2 courses.
yep. I mean, there's not a lot of mini golf courses. I mean, there's a lot, but it's not nothing that we have. There's nothing that we have. So, yeah. But we won. They're hanging in the hallway. The ones we won. The ones just haven't been on them.
We just gotta come up with some swag now to sell at mini golf next year.
Thought about that for a long time and how to get it out there, and I agree with you 100%.
Yeah,
It's
like-
just, yeah, storing it is one issue, but other than that, we can do it.
Right. Like, you know, like little hats or
Yep.
t-shirts,
Sure.
something fun.
I've always wanted to sell our staff shirt because
T-shirt.
Yeah.
our back of our staff shirt is really cool. One of our employees made that saying up years ago, run around by the sound.
What is it?
Run around by the sound.
I know
It was the
somebody,
first
I
year
know
open,
somebody
I-
in graphic design.
Yeah. The first year we opened, I had all the staff at our staff meeting try to come up with a logo, saying, and they came up with that. It's stuck ever since. It's great. It's a great saying. We have the lighthouse in the back of the shirt. So it's an iconic lighthouse that's it's on all the license plates in Connecticut, our lighthouse. So it's on the
And
back
all
of
our
our
signs.
lighthouse course. Yeah.
Jack did a whole deck. Did he show you what he did for school? He did like a whole campaign about based on mini golf. And it's a whole like deck like this of all the stuff you could do and the swag, the shirt. He has shirts and everything already pre-done.
Yeah.
It's already in. So I can have him share it with
In the whole building down there.
you, right?
Do you have any
Well, money
plans to sell merchandise down there, Ray? Like
We've
t-shirts?
talked about it. We've talked about it.
That would be great if you publicize it as well.
And cheap, having like $20.
You know, like kids entrepreneur class?
Right. Yeah.
You know,
That's also a good option. Do something structured with them to learn the business.
so some kids presented from the high school at the Board of Ed last night about, selling,
Future business.
like they have a store that they set up and they source
Oh, in the school?
merchandise.
Yeah.
The school with the Rams gear. And,
My schools do that already.
yeah, and it's modeled after, Junior Achievement, you sell stock in a company, you sell the products, you cover your expenses, that kind of thing. It's a great, downsized model of what a real business is.
Sure.
And, but, I don't know, but it could be something to talk with the teacher. She's a business teacher.
CBS has a whole
I
section.
just don't want to have a sleep
I
shirt.
did not know that. I was like waiting for something and I was like,
I know.
it's like a huge Saybrook section.
That's all I have.
I was totally blown away.
Well,
Nice up to that, so
I'd like to thank
Heck yeah.
Jane and Jim
$8
for the many years
Oh, yes.
that you've worked on our
It's
mission.
been a joy, I tell you.
And Jim, I think it's
Yeah, how long have you
been here almost as long as each other, I
10
think.
years, I want to say?
I was gonna say 16 because
It was, you were here when Jimmy was here.
Vicky, I was gonna say, Sue's been here the entire time that I've been here, and Ray's been here the entire time. In fact, we hired Ray after Vicky left.
Yeah, that was one of our biggest things as a
Yeah, I'm
newbie.
glad to see that you two guys will still be around because I think
That was in
you're in
2012,
good
so
hands.
I do recall you being here before that, so.
Yeah, it was before we
Maybe
interviewed you.
2008.
and That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But
I know. I started when I was 12, so.
Was Steve the
Is it
chairman
parking
when you were
recorder
here?
Yeah. You know, I did
Steve
too
Murphy
when I was
the
12.
chairman at the
For a
time.
long time, so.
Yeah, with Berkey and Sue's,
Long time ago as a counselor, 25 cents an hour, 12 years old.
not that long.
But,
But I
no.
thank you for the opportunity to help out with a lot of these projects, the strategic plan that Star and Kevin initiated. I think that's really starting to come to fruition. I mean, we've got the first project going with Town Park, I guess, but that's starting to kick in, and then we've got a couple other parks after that, right? Grass Road gets a revamp, and the playground and the splash pad will probably be updated too.
Dog park.
Yeah, and Main Street Park was also another of the initiatives that was started back then. I think kayak landing would be a great acquisition, and I also think that the space adjacent to mini golf will also be good if we can hopefully negotiate that. And I guess you guys will all be in charge of dealing with Jane and Carl and the other selectmen to make that happen. But I, as a citizen now, I really think that those are critical things to put some of the pieces together for the whole property down by the sound. And I think we're well equipped to do that. I think financially the town is in good shape and the park and rec department is in good shape, so that if we have the money and the capital to back that up and make these requirements, if we really can negotiate with the owners to make this happen, I think it'll be a good addition to the properties that we already have.
You can always come back and critique us on them.
I
I started,
critique.
come back and
If that
razz us a bit.
if that entails, giving helpful advice, yes, but everything we've done,
We'll see Jim if we have ice cream.
I really think we've all done our best to make the parks and recreation, something better than it was when we arrived. And the properties that we've acquired have been nothing but pluses. I don't think we have any properties that aren't really getting much use. There's some things like Shades Club Park that we could probably make better use of, but I think by and large, Rob's come a long way with the disc golf, and I know a lot of people, as we referred to in this meeting, have made use of that, even though the public at large may not make use of it. But in terms of the walking trails that we have, the preserve was another great acquisition that Susan was helpful in making happen back when we
Many
were
years
able
ago.
to acquire that and the forest land that we have up north that abuts with Essex. So I feel good about what we've done, and I'm optimistic about what you guys are going to do in the future. I think there's a lot of good projects that are on the table, and hopefully we can make it happen with the owners that own it now, that will transition it to Old Saybrook and expand our properties.
So you're invited to our December meeting, as usual. And I can't see if you're still on there, but welcome, and look forward to seeing you next on this in December.
Can I say something?
Yes, Jay.
I'm going out too.
You're out.
You're just
Are
sliding.
you, well, it's like, you're
You're
seeing with the
sliding.
board of selectmen.
That's true.
Which is good.
We'll come see you over there
Let's hope
too.
this is beneficial.
Exactly. No, I really appreciate this was the first board commission that I was on. Kind of got me into serving for the town, which is truly, it is a joy. I enjoy coming to these meetings. I'm going to miss being part of this lovely discussion because it's, compared to other boards and commissions, this is a much more family feeling kind of environment and very collaborative, and that's why I think it's been so enjoyable. It's also I think the best asset our town has, so who wouldn't want to be on this one, in terms of what we get to work with, and I think when you look at what people complain about, this is a board that doesn't get a lot of have to deal with a lot of the negative things, so it's a very positive feeling board, and it affects people from the time they come into this world in Old Saybrook until the time they go out. It spans every single age, and that's such an important thing for us to remember, that it's every single person that lives in this town taking advantage of the beauty that we have here and the reasons we want to live here. It's a big part of why we want to be here and what makes a great experience for raising our children here. And so I'm very blessed that I got to be on this board for 4 years, and I'm going to carry that with me on Board of Selectmen, and I can't wait to see if there's even more that I can do for our parks and recreation. And I appreciate the relationships that I've developed with all of you, and you're all really important to me. And please know that I'm just a text or call or email or visiting person.
It's a pleasure working with you, Jay,
Thank
really. And I look forward to being a thorn decide in the board. Well, I didn't want to forget about our liaison, who's been very quiet sitting down in the chair back there. From anything new from your commission?
It's our environmental fair for March 28th next year. It's going to be in the school park.
Okay.
We have it each year. Last year we had it on birthday, but everybody was like many days, so.
Right.
And we have quite a few vendors for probably.
Are you anticipating also a birthday event? Earth Day event?
Yeah, we're doing this one because to compliment the Earth Day, because last time we were at an on Earth Day, and so many people told us they had to go to so many other events. We moved it up to March 28th. I'll have more details in this.
Okay. Thank you by sitting for a long meeting.
Longer than the rest, that's for sure.
Any commissioner has anything else to say, put in suggestions?
So is
Motion
everybody
to
okay
adjourn.
if I contact the Harbor News and give them a little
Absolutely.
soundbite and give them your contact?
Sure.
And see if they want to do a story, you know.
You have my permission.
Okay.
Go for it. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll
Second.
second that.
Oh, wow. Okay, it's done.
So,
Thank you
so our
for staying.
party is next month.